Good morning, Year 7. Okay, so today we are continuing with travel writing, and you're going to create a holiday brochure advert. And you're going to use something called A-Forest to do that, as well as some presentational skills. And I'm aware that you don't really know what those things mean yet, but you will do soon. So, this task I set you to do on your own on Friday during the lesson, to look at online holiday brochures. If we were in school, we would look at some physical ones that we've got in the faculty, but obviously during lockdown we can't do that. So you should on Friday have read through lots of holiday brochures on the internet and decided the things that they included in their advertisement, and you've got some bullet points there. So what I want you to do, if you didn't already do this on Friday, is make a bullet point list of things that you might find. So for example, you would have photographs, okay, which is very persuasive when you're doing a holiday thing, because surely when we load something, it's the first thing we look at. What do the rooms look like? What does the pool look like? What kind of facilities are there? Similarly, there'll be lots of facts and figures about the facilities. You might find a key on the internet with lots of different icons that mean different things. So like kids club or swimming pool, things like that, dog friendly, all those kinds of things. Okay, you might find that there is a bigger description, a chunky paragraph to describe the resort, talk about what it's like. Those kinds of things. There'll be titles, there'll be contact information, there'll be special offers, all of these different ideas. So, let's talk about A-Forest. Now this is an acronym, which is like the same as an acrostic poem. So each of these letters means a different thing, which we're going to look at now. And we call it A-Forest because it's a bit easier to remember. So yeah, we're going to start with that today. So you will need to use A-Forest in your writing test today. So the A is for alliteration. You should remember that alliteration is when you have 2 or 3 words together that start with the same sound. So a wonderful white water experience would be an example of that, or tasty and tempting treats to tantalize your taste buds would be another example. Repetition is fairly obvious. It's when you repeat something. Exaggeration, it's 1 in a million, it's out of this world, things like that. Direct address, you're talking to the potential customer. You won't find a better hotel. You will be able to relax and enjoy yourself. You will de-stress, all those kinds of things. Facts we've already talked about. Obviously, in a piece of creative writing about a resort that doesn't really exist, but that you're creating, there can be false facts, if that makes sense. But if it was your real life job to work for an advertising agency or a hotel and to produce that, then you'd include true facts. But obviously we're doing a simulation, a copy of a real one. Okay, so fake facts. Opinions, okay, so you could include what people say about your hotel. You could include quotations from people, those kinds of things to give their opinion. And rhetorical questions. Don't you want to relax? Don't you want to float on the pool and wash away all your worries and stress? Things like that. And then emotive language, so that's just saying anything that gets you emotionally. So de-stress, relax, things like that are emotional as well. Statistics, okay, so you could say something like 95% of our previous customers has given us the top rating on TripAdvisor. Okay, again, that's a made up thing because your resort doesn't really exist. Okay, so made up statistics. And then finally, triplets, that's where you say 3 things. So our hotel rooms are cozy, comfortable and stylish. 3 things, okay? So, your job then is so a couple of lessons ago what we did was we looked at creating your own island resort. So you should have this work somewhere from the lesson last week. Okay, so you then can add in the details of the holiday brochures that you looked at, and you're going to be describing that using some of these A-Forest ideas. So, another key term that you could include is the word anecdote. Anecdote that you can see there on the screen in red. What this means is a short, interesting story about someone's real life. Okay, so a challenge is to try and include an anecdote in your presentations to persuade somebody to come to your island. So, for example, Sally Smith of Alfreton posted on TripAdvisor, "I was so stressed and wound up when I arrived at the resort, but within a day I was relaxed and happy, having been to the spa, had wonderful food and relaxed by the pool. Highly recommend this hotel." Something like that would be an anecdote. So, you're going to have a go then at using your own presentational devices and aForest in your paragraph to persuade someone to come to your island resort. aForest is something that's not just for today's lesson. We're going to be using it over and over again in the coming lessons. On the board there, you've got some grading information. So, it's important that your sentences are all accurate, which it doesn't specifically say here because it's not specific to this task, it's in general. So you must be writing inaccurate sentences with capital letters and full stops. It's always easier to get a decent grade by slowing down and looking at each individual sentence really carefully. Have you got a range of sentence styles, a range of sentence lengths? Have you used some of aForest in your writing? Are your words basic or sophisticated or somewhere in between? Okay, so if you just rush ahead and write a load of stuff down, that doesn't get a great grade, does it? If you can, I would like you to send your work to me today. So that could be that you take a photo of it and upload that to Show My Homework, or it could be that you email me, and I will put my email address again in the lesson description on Show My Homework. But if you can't email it to me, don't worry about that. I'd just like to check in and see how you're doing, and I'm sure you would like some feedback on your work if it's possible, so that I can tell you how well you're doing. Okay, so if you can, if you know how and you've got the technology, feel free to send me your work. I'd really like that, but otherwise, don't worry about it. Okay, that's it from me today then. See you next time.